I am here right now with a clarion call to Israel and all those who can hear with their ears the call that the Most High is making to his people. Yes, I can say the Most High has people of his own. When you go and you study, they are called Israel, Yasharel, the house of Jacob. That's just who I'm speaking to tonight. I'm speaking to the lost tribe of Israel, the house of Jacob, the rebellious house of Jacob. Our people, who are called the house of Israel, are a rebellious people. And because of their rebellion, Yahuah turned his back on them. What I'm going to bring to you tonight is a series called Let Us Return to Yahuah. Think about that. If you return to something, that means you left it. I'm going to say that again. If you return to something, that means you left it. We left our God. We left Exodus 20's God, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, the I am that I am. When he revealed himself to Moses, he revealed himself as Yahweh. We left Yahweh, our God, the God of Israel. We left for gods of wood and gods of stone. When you read the story of the ending of Moses' time with Israel, he said to Moses, when you go to sleep with your fathers, they're going to turn their backs on me. After all the Most High showed them, all the miracles he did in Egypt, opening up the Red Sea, feeding them out of heaven with manna, giving them water to drink out of a rock. And when they cried out for meat, he fed them quail. But sometimes with us stiff-necked individuals, it's hard. It's hard. And you know what the funny part is? We don't even have the presence of God like Israel had it. They had the presence of God with them. What other nation had the presence of God with them? A fire by night and a pillar of cloud by day, leading them, showing them constantly how merciful he is. They had the presence of God in the Ark of the Covenant. And when you go back there and read some of them stories they did, what men and women did in the presence of God, and these people were seen. They were seen. It's one thing to hide your sin, but it's another thing to just be bold with it. You know, sometimes we think we're hiding, We think nobody don't know anything. My dad asked me a question when God rest his soul. My dad asked me a question. Son, how far would a man go if he knew he couldn't be found out? How far would he go? If there was nobody to know what you were doing in secret, come on, Eric, talk about yourself, that you thought nobody else knew, we go out there and we do things like we big dogs. We think God ain't in heaven. Says a fool will say in his heart, there is no God. In Ezekiel, God asked Ezekiel to look through a hole in the wall and say, do you see what the priests of Israel are doing? They were in the temple doing things, man, you can't even imagine. And what you think they're doing in the so-called house of God? They going up in there, they looking Sunday best, and doing inside of their Sunday worst. And who suffers? Who suffers behind that? You do. I do. We do. Because half of them out there has not even been called to preach to nobody. That's the biggest game in town. Biggest game in town. But tonight I'm going to start a series on let us return to Yahuah. And then I'm going to show you how we left. I'm going to show you when we walked away from our God, the God of our fathers, God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and we went after other gods of wood and stone. The first God we went after was the God of the cross. The second God prophesied that we would go after was the God of stone, the Kaaba, Islam. Those were prophesied to Moses in Deuteronomy. Said Moses, when you leave, when you go to sleep with your fathers, they're going to turn their backs on me. And they're going after the gods of wood and the gods of stone that not even our forefathers knew. I'm going to show you. And one thing about Brother B over here with Fresh Manna, I'm going to give you receipts. See, that's the thing that is in so many of these religious sectors. Nobody got no receipts. If I tell you something, I'm going to give you a receipt where you can go and look it up for yourself. Stop letting people talk to you and they can't present to you information where they got it from. Because you're hungering and you're thirsting for an encounter. How do you know that, Brother B? I know it because that was me. Don't tell me the Most High Yahweh is not alive. Don't tell me that he is not moving in the earth. Don't tell me that. I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I made a decision to go back to Torah. I left. I made a decision to go back on my own. And my first decision I made was keeping the Sabbath. Remember the Sabbath. Keep it holy. I don't care nothing about what they said. Some man went out there and, he worked on the Sabbath and all of that. That's his business. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about creation's command to keep the Sabbath. That was at creation. The second time it was brought up was in the Exodus. It's a command. Remember the Sabbath. 6 days shall you work. On the seventh day is the Sabbath. In it you shall do nothing. No work, nobody in your house, your animals, nobody. Everything's still. But that's for another conversation. I'm getting ready. Part 2 is getting ready to close, and I'll be moving on to part 3.